One of my favorite St. Martin's stories is about how my husband Sterling came to be confirmed at St. Martin's. I'm a cradle Episcopalian and grew up in St. John's Episcopal Church in Florence, and his family was very active in Shandon Presbyterian Church. After we were married in 1967, we knew it was very important to both of us to go to the same church together. And he made the decision, a very wise decision, that it would be easier for him to adjust than for me. So we visited 2 or 3 churches and fell in love with St. Martin's. I had my membership transferred from St. John's, and for the next 20 plus years, Sterling went with me to church on Sundays. We participated in activities. We pledged every year, but he never could quite make that commitment to be confirmed. Then in December of 1989, his father died, and the funeral was on a very cold, windy day. And it was at Shandon Presbyterian Church, and our rector, Jim Abbott at the time, and assistant rector, Charlie Spagner, both came to the church, and then to Greenlawn Cemetery, where they stood out in the cold wind at the burial. Sterling was so touched by their love and support at that time that he later told me, "I'm ready to be confirmed." So we went to about 6 weeks of inquirers classes with Charlie Spagner, and he was confirmed. After we both retired, we had a lot more time to give to the church. He's one of the Monday morning money counters and has been very active in building and grounds committees and with Harvest Hope. And I'm one of the office volunteers, and for many years have been the membership secretary. Our clergy, our staff, our congregation together, they're just a very loving, warm, supportive community. And it just makes us happy to give our time, share our financial resources with St. Martin's.
Hello, my name is Michael Hitchcock, and I wanted to spend a couple of minutes talking to you about why my family supports St. Martin's. As with many things, I think you realize that you feel a part of something, that you realize that you really love it when you want to feel responsible for it, when you want to support it, when you want to be a part of its growth and development. And that's how we feel about St. Martin's. We feel blessed to have found such an amazing church home, and we want to support it not out of a feeling of obligation, but really out of that feeling of being blessed to be a part of it. Like a lot of people, we struggled to find a church home. My wife and I wanted to find a place that was spiritually rewarding for us, a congregation that we felt like that we could be a part of. And, most of all, we have 2 small children, and we both wanted them to grow up in church and for that to be a constant in their lives, that to be a foundation of them developing into the people that we really wanted them to be. And I think what makes St. Martin's so great really lies at the heart of the mission statement that all are welcome. And this is not something that it's just something that the clergy preach, but it's something that really permeates the very fiber of the congregation. And as a result, we have a church family that's not only welcoming, but also really represents the very tapestry of our community. St. Martin's is a place that also just simply challenges us to be better people, whether it's through thoughtful sermons on Sunday or the many opportunities that we have for community outreach. The opportunities to improve yourself are there for you. In the end, like I said, we support St. Martin's because we feel blessed to have found a church home, a place that we fit into so effortlessly and that has really become part of who we are. And that couldn't be any more important than it is right now during this crisis that we've all are going through. It's a joy and an honor for us to support St. Martin's, because we hope that the small part that we're able to do will help ensure that St. Martin's is there for many years to come for families like ours. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nene Upton Fulmer. I want to talk to you for a moment about St. Martin's and some of the impact that I feel it has in its parish and in its community and in the individuals. I've come outside here just to hope while I'm talking to you that you will have the joy of what I have every day at noon if I'm home. I live right down the street from St. Martin's, and I'm blessed to be able to hear their bells from their steeple every day at noon, no matter what. Power outage, rain, sleet, snow, coronavirus, doesn't matter. Those bells are there every day at noon. And it is heard throughout the community, throughout the neighborhood for sure. But it is such a great symbol to me of what St. Martin's is, and that is always reaching, always present, and a cornerstone of this community for something that is always going to be there when you need it. St. Martin's also reaches beyond just being there. It continues to equip its parish so that the parish can go out and be able to help the people in the community. We're a parish of people that are prepared to help the people. And I just find that that is so valuable because it never lets any of us get stagnant. It never lets us stop ringing our bells and being valuable in all that we have to give. I appreciate that it reaches. I appreciate that St. Martin's is growing, and I appreciate that St. Martin's is letting every one of its parish grow and to fulfill the full body of Christ and to be the strongest church and the strongest body of Christ that we can be.
My name is Heather Bacon Rogers, and June will mark 10 years that I've been attending St. Martin's in the Fields. 10 years ago, the new associate rector was a friend of a friend, and we met him on Friday, and he asked if we would come to church with him that Sunday, because he wouldn't know a whole lot of people. My husband and I came that first Sunday, and we never left. We knew it was the right church. Not only were the people genuinely friendly, but the focus of the church was on being in community, not just within the walls of the church, but in the greater Columbia area. Soon after we started going, I was asked to be a chaperone on a trip to Camp Graffit. And again, I never looked back. 6 mission trips, one including airplane travel with 10 youth, which was fun. Countless EYCs and senior high breakfasts at 6:45 in the morning. And I'm extremely proud to be associated with the youth year after year. I love being part of this church, and I love being able to give whatever I can to support it. I think we have something really special and something that is really important. And for those youth, I would like for them to one day be able to come back to the same church that they left. And the way to do that, right, is to give of your time, but also to give financially. And so that's why I support the mission of this church. And again, hope that, years down the road that my youth today will be the adults that will attend the church tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Amy.
Nick Martinez.
And we became Episcopalians in 1979, right before we got married. We were at Furman University in 1978, and our Baptist chaplain knew that this lifelong Lutheran
and this Roman Catholic
wanted to get married. And LG met us in the parking lot at Furman and took us to St. James Episcopal Church. And we fell in love and have been Episcopalians ever since. When we moved to Columbia, we lived in Irmo, and we attended St. Mary's Episcopal Church and were there for a long time, and then moved downtown. And in 2012, we became members at St. Martin's in the Fields. And so we have been there since 2012.
We have also been very actively involved in our churches and church life. And one of the things that Amy has mentioned is that she has been reared with the belief and the practice of participating and tithing to the church community. I, on the other hand, have not been raised with that kind of philosophy. However, I strongly believe and have found that the passage in our Bible where it says, where your gifts are,
Where your treasure is.
where your treasure is, so there will be your heart. And that has been very meaningful and truthful with me with regards to St. Martin's in the Field.
Yeah, so I was reared to believe that you give of your time and your talent and your treasure if you're going to be a member of a church community. And Nick and I both, when we were looking downtown, the most important thing to us was to go to a place where all are welcome. It was very important to us that all ethnicities, all sexual orientations, all socioeconomic backgrounds could gather together at the table and make community. And we have found that at St. Martin's and have been involved in all kinds of ministries there, probably too long to mention, but we love our church, we love our community, and we hope whoever hears this will be inspired to come join us.
And one of the things that I think that we love most about is that the theology that is presented there and the practice of that all are welcome are actually worked upon, and we have experienced it personally and have seen it being demonstrated time and time again.
Thanks.